All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Better Balance class. For class today, you'll just need your usual things, a chair of some sort to sit on and to use for balance. And then for props, I have a resistance band. I have a little fitness ball, and I have some small hand weights. Of course, if you don't have one of those things, you can always improvise. You can do what we're doing without it. It's all good. We're gonna start seated in our chair. Get ourselves all warmed up, and then we'll mess with the screen before we get too comfy here, and then we'll get practicing all of our things that help us get better at balance. All right, so as you get settled in your chair, got all your props out, let's just sit nice and tall for a moment. Maybe give yourself a moment to, I'm going to call it find your sitting bones. Let's rock a little side to side, feeling how your butt bones, your sitting bones, right? When you can shift and you can kind of find one and then the other, rock back and forth, and then try to land for a moment where both sitting bones are really evenly pressed in. Okay? And for many of us, right, your tendency is to like shift to one or the other. So just always in our Pilates work, trying to find that balance in our body. All right, take a few big breaths for me. Just evenly anchoring through those sitting bones. Big full inhale, expand your rib cage, expand your chest. And then as you exhale, that just squeezing out that breath. And maybe noticing when you take that next breath, can it be a little bigger, maybe a little longer? And then exhale, maybe that exhale lasts a little bit longer and you're really feeling that corset around our center, kind of squeezing it a little bit. Let's do one more breath like that. Big inhale. How long, slow, big can you make your breath? Fill your chest up. And then those exhales where we're just forcing that breath out, feeling those core muscles start to kick in a little. Good. Let's do some arm circles. We're going to reach to our fingertips so much that you feel like your shoulders just drop down a little bit. Take a nice big inhale, just lift the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, you're just going to open and circle the arms. Right? How big you go is up to you. Hopefully these kind of feel good. I like that idea that when we lift our arms, it can kind of lift our whole rib cage up, lengthen our waist a little bit. And then come back around. One more time, big inhale, we lift. And exhale to come back down. Go ahead and reverse it, palms facing forward. You can reach those arms behind you. That's a good stretch in your shoulders and your arms. And then you can press those arms along beside you. Maybe like 3 of those. Nice, big inhale, reach, circle. And then as you exhale, press the arms back down. One more time. And then back. Let's just roll those shoulders out a little. Lift them up, roll them back, squeeze them together behind you. Just some shoulder rolls. Right. How much movement can we get through our back? And it feels like we're sticking our chest out and then caving it in a little as we're doing those. And then go the other way. Just moving our shoulders, not a right or wrong on that. Just getting some movement. Maybe you want to do one at a time. Anything fun there. All right, and then sitting tall. Let's do a little just warm up through our neck. We're going to do just a simple side to side. So I'm going to start looking over my left shoulder until I find a little stretch in that place. And then I'm going to take my hand, my fingertips just lightly on my neck as I turn. Give myself that little massagey effect as the fingers kind of drag across my skin, and I look over the other side. And then I'm going to switch. I try to time my breath so I could maybe take a big inhale, one of those slow, long ones as I go all the way over. Hold it until you can't inhale anymore. And then switch it, exhale. Feel your fingers just lightly drag across, right? Play with that pressure. Mine's pretty light. I like kind of just enough that I can feel that skin kind of moving a little bit, but not so much that you're like digging in and, you know, coming across. Just light. Yeah, let's do one more on there. Fingers on the neck, you get that light turn. Look over the shoulder. And then come back to center. Let's do a few, just like tip your head back, lift your chin, wherever that's comfortable, and then pull your chin towards your chest and kind of reach through the top of your head so you kind of lengthen and stretch those neck muscles in that direction. Lift the chin up. And then to me, it almost feels like I'm pulling my chin. Give myself a double, triple chin there. And do one more like that. And just your range, doesn't have to look like mine, just your range on there. And then we'll come back to center. We're just gonna warm up a little bit more through the neck. Let's do those smiley face neck rolls, because they're my favorite. We're gonna turn and look over one shoulder, and then take the tip of your nose, pretend like it's a marker or crayon or something, and you're drawing a smiley face in the air until you end up looking over that other shoulder. And then do it the other way. Notice if you want to let your shoulders roll forward. We're trying to keep kind of that good posture, which to me feels like I have to still work a little bit in my upper back, roll my shoulders back so I don't round my shoulders when my head moves, my neck moves. Let's do like one more in each direction, just that roll. Looking over one shoulder, and then the other way. And then coming back. Good. All right, let's do a little warm up with those feet. Let's just do some rocks to start off. We're gonna rock up to our tippy toes, and then we're gonna roll through our feet and lift our toes. Play with this. You might find you want your feet a little further away from you. You might want them a little closer in. Just getting some movement through our feet and ankles. I'm kind of doing it with my hands too. Right, so you can play with that. Actually, it's nice. I think we talked about that a couple weeks ago, but like doing a little movement with your hands while you're doing it with your feet, it's just good for our wrists and our hands. You can kind of mimic what your feet are doing with your hands. Good for our brains too. All right, let's do some rolls. So I'll do the same thing with my hands. So I'm going to shift if I'm on the heel of my hand and the heel of my foot, shift to the outside, roll up the outside, come across my toes or fingers, and then kind of roll down the inside. Roll across, lift, roll through those fingers and across. You can do little circles. The knees, the thighs are moving. We're just getting warmed up, getting some mobility in those wrists and ankles. And challenging our coordination. Let's go the other way. Roll inside of heel and heel, hand, and foot. And then, I don't know if I can talk through that, but you guys got it, right? Roll through your hands, lift, open, and back down. We'll do a few more of those. And back. One more time. And then back. Good. And then just get those a little shake out. Let's do some warm up through our back. Some gentle movement. Play with the hands where you like them. We're going to do a little curl our back first. So tuck your pelvis, round your back. Maybe like to sweep the arms out in front. And then kind of lift yourself up and go into a little arch where you're gazing up at the ceiling. You're just going to go back and forth. Time your breath. Inhale. And exhale, we rock into that little arch. For those of you that have done there, like your Pilates roll up, roll down, it's kind of your roll down. You start to roll, maybe you hit your chair, and then you lift yourself up into that swan, that arch. Let's do like two more there. Pelvic tuck round. And arch. If it doesn't feel good to sweep the arms, you could just leave your hands on your knees for those. And arch, and then let's just come back to center, get a little side bend, and we'll take one arm up overhead, the other arm's just gonna reach to the floor as you stretch up and over. And then stack to come back up, and then we'll do that again. We'll get that inhale, reach, exhale to come back. Feel yourself kind of lift up at your waist. You reach up and over, no right or wrong how far you go. We just want that side bending action. We want to move in that side to side direction. Let's do one more each. Feel like your hips are really glued down to the chair, anchor down. One more time, lift. And then come back to center. We're going to get some rotation in, and these are kind of our first ones of the day. So go gentle with these. Start with a little twist. Use your hands if you like, or maybe swing them a little bit, but just find that ease in your rotation. Maybe notice how it stretches things when we twist. All right, low back, mid back, arms if you're reaching them. Whatever feels good to you, just giving a little bit of that rotation in our body. Good. And then coming back to center, awesome. Okay, now let's grab our resistance bands and start with a little bit of some resistance work. We're gonna take our bands and just lace them on the floor. Mine are about hip width apart. Remember with your band, everybody's, depending on your strength of your band, length of your band, you might choke up or down your band differently than me, that's fine, play with it. Let's start with just like a pull up, where we pull up like up into our armpits and then straighten our arms. Nice big breath. We're just keeping our nice tall, good posture the whole time, feeling good with that strength work to pull up and back down. Inhale and exhale. Let's do one more like that. Let's add just a little back bend to that. Let's pull up and then do just a little bit of that tip and extend back and then come back to center and straighten your arms. And then we'll do that again. Pull up and then a little bit of that tip back, squeeze your shoulder blades together and come back center. Let's do one more. Just notice, like, don't just drop your head, go where it feels so like good on your neck. You're not feel like you're straining when you're doing that. That's good. All right. We're gonna hold our band and practice our flat back hinges. So we're gonna sit super tall. We got a little bit of that resistance and you can use it to help you. As you inhale, I just want you to rock on your sitting bones and lean. It doesn't take much to feel these and then come back up. I really like that. Like when I come up, I kind of press out with my band. So I'm gonna inhale, hinge, and then when I come back, I kind of, a little bit of an arm raise or a lift. You don't have to come way up. At least my band has enough tension that I'm not moving very far on there. Hinge, and then just that lift, lift, lift to come back. Let's do one more. And then that lift. Good. And then let those arms be beside you. We're gonna go right into a little straight arm press. We're just sitting tall. This is kind of our chest expansion work, right? We press back and we really roll our shoulder blades together. And then we come back. So it might feel like you're sticking your chest out. Press and then a little like squeeze your shoulder blades together and then come back. And if you're noticing your shoulder blades, for me, it feels like I'm keeping my shoulder blades pretty anchored and I'm gonna press back as far as I can. And then I'm gonna see if I can press back further by squeezing my shoulder blades around my spine. And then kind of reverse that, shoulder blades anchored and then come back. Try that a few more times. So shoulder blades anchored, how far can you go back? Actively squeeze your shoulder blades together and see if you can stick your chest out and then reverse that to come back up. Getting some of that mobility in our shoulder blades that happens, which is also strength work. And coming back up. Do some shoulder rolls there, just like 3 in each direction with that resistance. And now reverse. Yeah, good. All right, let's sneak some bicep curls in. Flip your palms up, try to keep those wrists nice and straight. We're just gonna do a little bend and straighten, a little bicep curl. Definitely you can play, you can have your arms further out, you can keep them in tight, do your version of them. Just kind of wanna feel those biceps and get some strength work in. Remember to stay nice and tall as you do them. Let's do like 2 more. Just a little bend and straighten. And straighten. Okay, let's throw a bonus in. Let's bend. Hip hinge, lean back, bring yourself forward and then straighten. So you're holding that bicep curl. It should be like little work. Bend, hold, tip or lean back, bring yourself forward and then straighten those arms. One more. Your bicep curl, your flat back hinge, bring your body forward and then straightening those arms. Give the arms a little wiggle or shake if they need. Let's do some tricep presses here too. You're gonna wanna hip hinge, right? Maybe a little, maybe a lot, maybe you wanna open your knees more if you need. Pick up your upper arm bones and elbows in space, and then let's get a little set of 8. Straighten the arms and bend. Straighten, have little hold moments, because that's always the good part, and bend. And we get our 3. And bend. 4, just that good posture with our back, kind of that nice straight line. 5, 3 more. 1, 2, and 3, and then bring yourself back up. Give everything a little wiggle, shake out. All right, let's bring that band up. Let's go right into some of our clamshell, our legs, a little work, and our hips. So with your band, you're gonna kind of wrap those legs up, cross it, and give it a little tug. Turn that way for these guys. They can either be tight together, or you can give them a little bit of space. Check in on your posture, sit nice and tall. All right, let's start with just a regular clamshell. How far can we go and keep our feet sealed to the floor? And back in. And 2. And 3. Remember your breath. 4. You can always play with how tight you hold those legs. 5. Let's do 3 more. 6. 7. Remember, these are meant to be some endurance work. 8. So that's a good thing if you're feeling it a little. All right, next set. I want us to do a 50% set with our feet still sealed to the floor. We're going to open to about 50% of your full range. Should be work just to hold that, and then 50 to 100, a set of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bring the legs all the way back in. All right, our next set, we're going to do the roll our feet little addition. So we go as far as we can in our clamshell with our feet down, then we roll to the outside edges and open the legs more. Then we bring our feet back first and our legs. That was 1. I think we should do 8 of those too. Roll open, feet and legs. That's 2. Open, we'll kind of flow them all together. Feet and legs. That's 3. Should just be able to go that little bit further. 4. Open, roll, feet and legs. That's 5. We get 3 more. Roll to the outside edges, feet and legs. And last 2, open, roll, go a little further, feet and legs. 1 more time, open, roll to the outside edges, feet and legs. And guess what? We're gonna do 50% with the roll of the feet. So I want you to open 50%, roll to the outside edges, which should open you a little more into your 50%. Do your pulses 50 to 100 at that place. Should feel like more work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then bring them all the way back in. Okay, unwrap those legs for a moment. Use your band to lasso a foot. Whatever one you want to start with. I'm going to do my right one. Put your foot in your band. Choke up as much as you like on this. I want us to sit nice and tall. Just pick your foot up off the floor a little bit. And then let's do where we straighten our leg. Maybe you lift up a little, give that back of the leg a stretch. And then just bend to come back down. And if you need to rest the leg, that's fine. But I want us to stay tall, straighten the leg, and then it's just your lift where it's a stretch in the back of your leg. Usually that does not take much of a lift. Straighten the leg, little lift. So we're getting that stretch even in like our calf and in our foot. All right, next one, let's hold it out there, wherever you can hold it. 3-point and flex for me. Should be some work in your foot, should be some stretch. We're sitting nice and tall. And then 3 times, circle your foot and ankle. All right, push into that band. Feel all the stretchy in workplaces. And then go ahead and reverse it. Switch. 1, 2, we'll just do 3. And then you get to bend the leg and come back in. All right, if that leg is getting tired to be out there, like that's a good thing because we were working those muscles. Let's switch. Let's do it all on the other side. So we'll start and just get all situated, nice and lifted, even weight in both those sitting bones. Pick up the leg a little bit and just practice straighten the leg, and then it's your lift, right? And then just let it bend back in and rest it if you like. A little more challenging to hold it up the whole time. Straighten the leg, lift, and then go ahead and bend. Notice if you want to slouch or lean back when you go to like lift your leg, right? Only go as far as you can go and not kind of sink. All right, next one, let's hold it up there. Point, flex, we're doing 3. Take your time on them because you get all the stretchy work moments. Remember, it's still that work to sit nice and tall. 3 big circles around. 1, 2, and 3, and then reverse, check in on that posture, sit tall. It's a lot of time to hold that leg up there in space, I know. And then bend the leg and bring it back down, good. All right, we'll take that guy out. Let's set him to the side. Let's grab our little friend, the ball. I remember if you don't have the ball, something else works as a good substitute, like a towel rolled up, probably my best, or something else like rolled up to stick between your legs. Works. All right, I have my ball. I'm sitting tall. We're just gonna start with some inner thigh work. Great little squeeze. Let's do 8. Both legs evenly. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bonuses. Put our hands here in front of us. Maybe like I call it the I Dream of Genie position. One hand on the other. Press up with one. Press down with the other. Squeeze your ball. Get those inner thighs working. Let's do our little hip hinges here. Hinge, inhale, 1, inhale back, exhale forward, 2, squeezing into the ball. Feel how, I like how it kind of makes me feel stronger when I got that ball and then these strong arms out here in front of us. Let's do 2 more, just those little hinges, just some good core work, some good inner thigh work, hinge, and then come back up. Okay, give that a little rest. We're gonna go to our one leg kind of squeezes in. So I'm going to start and keep my left leg nice and still, planted in place. Take the right leg, squeeze in. Let's do 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we'll switch. My right leg's holding still, my left leg squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, bonus challenge today if you want to take it. Lift your leg, you can have it straight. You could leave it a little bent, but try to lift it off the floor. My right leg's coming up and squeezing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then switch. And again, it's fine if you want to just leave your leg really bent. The straighter your leg, the more work it's going to feel like that leg out there further. 1, 2, 3, 4. The other one holding still. 5, 6, 7, 8. And then bring it back down. Awesome. Okay, we're gonna go right to a set of sit to stands. My favorites. Hug in. So use your ball. We're gonna do some even ones. So we're gonna hip hinge. We're gonna bring ourselves up. If you need to adjust your ball, now adjust your ball in there. And then hip hinge to, see if I can get you in the screen. Hip hinge and up. And then that hip hinge to come back down. Use that ball for control. Feel how like when you hug into it, just helps us, especially those hard moments, those few inches off the chair, a few inches right before you land on the chair. Always extra fun. Hinge, 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 and land. All right, we got one more. Hands can be really wherever you want them, wherever it helps you. Always fine. Put them behind your head. Okay, let's do some one leg ones. Let's do, pick your harder side if you know which one it is, because it's nice to get it out of the way. I'm gonna do my left one. And then unweight your other leg as much as you can. You can lift your foot off the floor, but it can still just stay lightly touching. I just want you to overuse one leg at a time. Hip hinge, squeezing into your ball is gonna help with that stability work. And then coming back. Now we're gonna shoot for 5 on one leg and then we'll switch. Hip hinge, coming up. And then our hip hinge to come back down. We get that hip hinge. And up again, you decide where you want those arms. Give it here. You want to kind of reach in for your floor, for your chair. And I think that was our 5. Let's switch, or when you get your 5 switching out. Always you should count, because you just never know how my counting is going to be on any given day. Extras are always good, so we get a few extras in. Never hurt us. And back down. Use that inner thigh connection. And coming back. I think we got 2 more on this side. Hip hinge. And back up. Hip hinge. And back down. One last one. And back. Good. All right, before we get rid of our ball, we're going to do one more little set with both legs, because we didn't do any little squeezes, and those are always extra fun. So here's what we'll do. 5 squeezes on the way up, 5 on the way down. Remember, like the first one, when you lift your butt up, it's like maybe an inch off the chair, which is hard. Hinge forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Start at the top, and we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 1 inch above your chair, and then land. Let's do 2 more like that. Hinge forward, 1 inch. We start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On the way down, we squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5 is 1 inch, and then land. Last one, hip hinge, 1 inch up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll make our way down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then land. Woo. Fun challenge. Let's grab our weights. Work in with those weights. So as always, you decide what weights you're using. Nice to have a weight that it does challenge you a little bit, but doable. Feel like you can have good form. We're going to start with some just wrist strengthening. So positioning, you can be upright and just hold your forearms still like this and do these. Or my favorite is to let my forearms rest on my legs so that they cannot move. And then we're going to let those weights roll to our fingertips, palms up, curl the weight in. Let's get 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, and 8. We're going to do some wrist side bends. Hold the weight in line with your wrist, a little side to side. That's 1, 2, 3. Forearms holding still. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Flip the weights over and let your hands just hang down. And now we do it in kind of the reverse. We pick them up, and when we'll do 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then we got those wrist side bends. We're gonna pick them up, go side to side. 1, little movement. 2, 3, feels like ton of work though. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, now we're gonna rest and give our wrists and our forearms just a little stretchy moment. Maybe it's just this. You can do that with a straight arm or a bent arm in there. Maybe just really get that stretch. Maybe it feels good to kind of run your palm or your fingers up and down those forearms. Give them a little massage. Always just one of those places we kind of forget about. Give those hands a massage. Settle together, warm. Anything. Sometimes just like a squeeze, like just grab your hand and like gentle squeeze, you know, squeeze and release, just brings that blood flow, gets them all loosened up. All right, next up, let's get our bicep curls in. Fun ones where you get to move around in different places as long as you're keeping your good posture and your shoulder blades anchored. All right, so we do our bicep curl and straighten and maybe play on each one with moving that upper arm bone to a little different place. 3, 4, not too fast. 5, we kind of want to take away some of that momentum. 6, 7, 8. Take a rest. Give those shoulders a little roll. All right, let's do a set of tricep presses. Very similar to what we did with our band, although you do have a little more freedom. You can kind of change where those upper arm bones are so they maybe don't have to be as tight. You can keep them out a little bit. Let's do that. Straighten the arm, hold it a little, and bend. We're going to get our 8, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, one more, 8, and then bring them back. Oh, like a little shake out. Let's do a little, tell you what, we're gonna do some upper body work again, or more of it, but let's sneak in like our first set of sit to stands right now. Just give every upper body a little rest in between. So you're just gonna hold your weights even in both legs. We're gonna hinge forward and come up. You decide where you want those weights. They could hang beside you. You could have them out here in front. Sometimes that's my favorite, kind of pushing them together. And that nice control. We don't have that ball between our legs now, but we still want to have that good alignment with our knees kind of pointing straight ahead, not collapsing in or rolling out too much. And then up, and then we'll slowly reach down. Let's do 2 more of those. Hip hinge, press it to standing. Hip hinge as you reach to come back down. Last one. Hip hinge and up. And then hip hinge and make your way back down. All right, we're going to stay seated for a minute. Let's do a little shoulder work. So let's let our weights hang down beside us. And we're just going to do a side shoulder raise. So we are just nice and tall, lifting the weight up and slowly lowering it. No higher than your shoulder. I like to go maybe just feel like the weight is just slightly below my shoulder at the most, at the highest. As you lift and lower, try to avoid any momentum. Don't just let them like swing back down. Nice and slow is always good. And back. Let's do like 4 more of those. All right, and of course, if we're doing something and you're getting to that fatigue point, you can always take a little rest. Right? Do as many as you can with good form. That's how we get stronger. Oh, I lost count. Let's do 1 more. Feels like 4-ish from when I said it. And come back. All right, you get to roll shoulders around in space. Okay, let's do, let's alternate here. Let's do our 1 leg sit to stand. So weights in your favorite spot here, hanging. You're gonna put most of the weight into your, whatever leg you wanna start with. Do your hip hinge and come on up. How much can you mainly use that leg to do this set? We're gonna do 5, hip hinge. Let me bring it up. Hip hinge and back down. Hip hinge, press it up. Hip hinge and back down. Let's do 2 more. Hip hinge, up to standing. Hip hinge and back down. 1 more. Hip hinge, up to standing. Hip hinge and back down. Let's switch. Hip hinge and up. And our hip hinge and back down. Notice if you're breathing, if you're holding your breath on those. Right, that breath is always going to help us do things better. Notice those core muscles. Right, absolutely. You want to pull your stomach muscles and be engaged in your center while we do these. Hip hinge and up. Hip hinge and back down. Let's do 2 more, I believe. We'll shoot for our 5 on each side. Last one. Okay, let's get a little bit more. Let's do our chest expansion exercise, or I like to call this one our reverse chest expansion. So I'm going to start with the weights hanging down, shoulder blades anchored, sitting nice and tall. I'm going to take a big inhale. I'm going to lift the weights to the front, hold them there as I look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder, come back center, and then I'm going to press them back so it feels like a tricep press. Inhale, we'll press the weights up, look over one shoulder, look over the other shoulder, come back center, and then I'm going to press them back with control. Inhale, lift them up, look one way, look the other way, back to center, exhale, press them back. Let's do 1 more of those. Lift them up, get our look, back to center, and then that little press. Good. All right, those shoulders a little roll. Let's practice our for the drink exercise. So a bent arm on these, you're gonna pick your weight up. Definitely remember if a weight you have feels too heavy, you can go lighter if you have that option, or you can even do these without a weight because they're good that way too. Okay, we're gonna pick our weight up. We're gonna have our arm bent. You can play, the arms could be wide on this, they could be in a little bit. We're gonna pretend like we're pouring out a pitcher of something and then sloshing it the other way. All right, make sure you breathe. Sit nice and tall, have that good posture. Try some different angles if that feels like it's there for you. Internal, rotate the arms, and then external. Let's do 2 more. Internal rotation and external rotation, and internal rotation and external rotation. Good. And then just let those shoulders roll around a little bit in space. All right, let's do, we're gonna sneak in 1 more set of our sit to stand each day with our weights, because they're so good for us. I want us to come back to just like a regular set. We might do some fun things on this one. So favorite spot for your weights. I kind of like mine out here in front. We're gonna hip hinge and we're gonna come all the way up to standing. And then I want us to do somewhere we only go halfway to our chair. Can we go halfway down and then back up? Good form, we're still hip hinging halfway down and back up. All right, bonus, bonus. Halfway down, hold your halfway down. And now I want you to go down 1 inch and back up an inch. These are little up and down 5 times. Bend, straighten, one more time, bend, come all the way back up. Let yourself come all the way down to your chair. Keep that good form. We're gonna do one more, just a full one. Hip hinge, bring yourself all the way up. Hip hinge, bring your all the way back down, good. And actually, we're gonna come up to standing next and get some of our, oh, never mind, I lied. You know what, I wanna get some chair or just in first, so hold that thought. Set your weights down. Let's do a little bit of exercise before we come up for some more balancey stuff. Let's hang on to our chair. Let's walk our feet out a little bit, right? Push it away and lift your chest. Feel how that has worked just there. Let's start by just pushing away and then doing our little pelvic tuck. Push the thighs forward, see where you get, and then just roll your hips, slide them back in underneath. Let's do 2 more like that. Just that, kind of like our bridge. If we were doing some mat work, we'd be having our shoulders and head on the mat and like lifting our hips. Now we just have our arms pressing in while our shoulders and hips lift. And then come back down. Yeah, good. Okay, and then a little bonus strength work. Let's bring ourselves up. Now play with this for you. I want you to come up and kind of slide your hips out just a little bit so we can do little bitty bend and straightens with our elbows. Use your legs as much as you need. If you don't need them, don't use them. These are tricep presses. Make sure your shoulders don't do this. So you're really anchored in your shoulder blades. We should do like 2 more. Bend, straighten, bend, straighten, and then just slide back. Yeah, give those arms a shake out. Maybe even take a nice big like stretch your tricep moment because we definitely were really using those triceps there. And then you can give them a little shake out. All right, let's come up to standing. Let's get some of our standing balance work in. Just a little, so my head is not completely cut off the whole time. There we go. All right, let's come up. Let's do our ball. We'll start with. Let's grab our ball and stick it in between our like lower legs. You guys know the drill. Always like have that chair near you as you need. All right, so we have our ball. Let's do some rocks forward and back. Like rock to your tippy toes, rock back to your heels, and lift up your toes, right? And that'll definitely feel like some balance work. The backwards part for me feels like extra balance, right? Because you don't definitely can hold your chair in there, but as you try to lift your toes up, your feet up, and then have to balance. That's extra fun. Let's do 1 more of those. Can we go side? I kind of want us to do that same thing side to side. So we're going to shift the weight and like I'm going to peel the outside edge of my right foot up. You guys can see that I shift my weight to the right and I kind of roll through the feet. I'll do the same thing with my hands just to get a little bit of that ankle mobility and foot mobility as we go side to side. Yeah, okay, now ground both feet. Now we're gonna really like lift one leg. So now I want you to shift weight and lift a leg. Have a little moment, lift a foot, and then switch. And just play with that a little bit. Just kind of make sure you find your balance before you switch to the other side. All right, hug in with your inner thighs, kind of get comfortable with your rock side to side. Then let's add some little inner thigh work. So we'll hold it, squeeze 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you can come back center or go back to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do that 1 more time. Balance on one leg and then squeeze. 2, 3, 4, 5. Balance on the other leg. squeeze, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's balance. I'm on my right leg and see if you can roll the ball to the back and to the front. I'm kind of bending my leg that's moving that ball. It's okay, play with it, see what works for you. Try it one more time, roll. Really just some good standing balance work on there, and then back to center. And then we'll go to the other side, do that same thing. Feel free if you need to adjust your ball. Sometimes they slide around, up or down. So I'm gonna go forward and back. Picking a focal point on these is often really helpful. So just a place straight ahead that you're kind of staring at. Keep your vision in one spot. As you go forward and back, let's do one more. And then you can bring those legs back. Keep your ball there. I'm going to adjust mine, it's laying down a little. Let's play with our standing footwork while we're here. I really like it with the ball. So this is the one, I'm going to do mine sideways just so I can see it a little better. We're going to start, keep our spine nice and tall, nice and lifted. We're going to see how far we can bend our legs and come down before our heels kind of have to lift. When you get to your place, you're going to lift your heels up, maybe just a little. Stand up and then roll back down. See how confident and controlled you can do it. Bend, lift your heels, push up, roll down. Bend, lift your heels, press away, roll back down. One more in that direction. Bend, lift the heels, stand up, roll back down. Now we'll reverse it. We'll roll up to our toes, balls of the feet, bend the knees. Roll those feet down, stand back up. Lift the heels, bend the knees, roll the feet down, and back up. One more there. Rise up, bend the knees a little, roll the heels down, and then come back up. Awesome. Okay, let's set our ball to the side. Let's go into a little hip hinging practice, standing. You're gonna have those feet and knees hip width apart, and we're just gonna start with a few where we get to just keep both feet anchored and just find that hip hinge. Really find that flat back. Maybe you stay at the bottom for a moment just to see what you feel, those stretches in your body, and then come back up. Sometimes it helps me to have like one hand on front, one hand on my backside. So I feel like I'm really focusing on those core muscles pulling in that section of my back, especially not moving. So I hinge and come back. All right, and then we're gonna go to our one leg, not really one leg yet, cross leg. We're going to take our right leg somewhere in front of us, across us, somewhere where it challenges our balance. And then we're going to do that hinge again. And just nice big inhale, hinge. And then an exhale to come back up. Play with arms if you like them on your hips, you like to keep your hand on your chair, you want to reach those arms behind you. And coming back. Good. Let's just do 2 more today. And maybe every time you just feel like you get a little longer as you're pressing down and back up. Maybe you feel like you get a little more mobility in those hips. And back. And we'll switch. We'll do it on the other side. So just switch the cross of your legs. Remember, it doesn't have to look like mine. It could be your cross of the legs. It doesn't have to be that tight. Do try to have your feet nice and on the floor. So if your feet are touching or they're not fully anchored, just adjust to find that. And then we'll do our hinge. Play with those arms. Inhale. And exhale to come back. Right. Reaching those sitting bones behind you so you get some of that stretch in our hamstrings, backs of our legs. You might even feel that in your low back. Coming back up. Let's get one more. That hip hinge. And then we'll bring ourselves all the way back up. Good. Okay. Shake out those legs. Let's get our let's do our 3-point touches. I'm going to come around and start this on my right leg today. You can decide, you can have those hands on your hips, you can hold your chair, any place you love for your balance work. So we're going to lift one leg up, hold it up in space, and we're going to do our 3-point touch. Ooh, let's get crazy. Let's do 2 taps. Tap, tap, bring it back to center. Out to the side and up, tap, tap, and bring it back. We'll go behind, tap, tap, and bring bring it back up. Let's do it again. Tap, tap, tabletop, out to the side, tap, tap, and bring it back behind us, tap, tap. Okay, maybe 3 taps this time. 1, 2, 3, bring it up, out to the side, 1, 2, 3, and bring it up, and behind you, 1, 2, 3, and bring it up. Okay, let's take our lunge. Lunge forward, come back to center, hold. We're gonna throw bonuses in today. 2 clam shells, open, close, open, close. Yeah, good. Okay, out to the side, squat, push off, come back, see if you can hold your balance somewhere. 2 clam shells, open, close, open, close. Take the step behind you, do a little lunge, come back into your balance, 2 clam shells, open, close, open, close. Yeah, good. Okay, next set, we're gonna step forward. We're gonna do our lunge. We're gonna see if we can lift that back leg. We're gonna lunge again, push back into our balance this time. 3 glute stomps, press, 1, 2, 3, good. Okay, go out to the side, do your squat, push off. We're going right into that 1 leg balance, 1, hold up in space, come back, do your squat, come back into your balance, 3 glute presses, 1, 2, 3, now we gotta step backwards, back lunge, rock back, lift up, hold your balance, step forward, little lunge, we're coming back up and we get our 3 glute stomps, 1, 2, 3, and then you get to land that foot. Okay, and then we're gonna do that all on the other side, if I can remember. Okay, we will start. Just switching whatever side you want to do first. Of course, we start, we switch, we hold 1 leg up in space. We're gonna do our tap, tap front, bring the leg back, tap, tap side, and bring it back. 2 taps. Just a light tap, you know, don't hurt your foot. Let's do it again, tap, tap, bring it back, tap, tap, and bring it back, tap, tap, and bring it back. Last time we did 3, 1, 2, 3, bring it up, 1, 2, 3, bring it back up, 1, 2, 3, and bring it up. Okay, we're gonna do our front lunge. And then we're gonna push back. I don't remember what we were doing. Come back, we did 2 clam shells. 1, this is good for my brain. 2, mix it up. Okay, we're gonna go out to the side. Squat, push back, find your balance. Foot can be anywhere for those clam shells, low or high, 2 times. And then we'll do our step behind, back lunge, push off, come back to balance, 2 clam shells, 1, 2. Now we're gonna go into our step forward, take a lunge, lift your back leg, have to balance. Go back through your lunge, come back into balance, 3 glute stomps, leg is bent, and we go 1, 2, 3, and then we're gonna step out to the side, get our squat. We're gonna push all the way to the far leg, balance, come back through the squat, push off, balance again, 3 glute stomps, 1, 2, 3, now we go backwards, back lunge, rock to the back foot, lift the front leg in balance, step forward, lunge, come back, balance, do those 3, 1, 2, 3 stomps, and then come back down. Yeah, good. And then you get to shake everything out a little bit. Those are fine. Let's do some, let's just do our walk the line. Let's just start by looking ahead, and you have just, you know, if you have a line, great, but you don't need one, just pretend. Do a little heel toe walking, look ahead, arms could be out to the side. Right, you're gonna walk the line, take 4 or 5 steps to the front, and then go to the back. Pretend like you're on the balance beam. That's what I always think of, pretending that we're some gymnastics, right? And then back. When you do it the next time, see if you can like go almost slower, like make a big arc with your leg when you come around. And then make like a half circle or arc and come back down. And the slower you go, the more balance time you have, so it's extra fun. Okay, and reach again, we'll pretend like we're gymnasts. right? And just whatever you have room for, walk yourself forward and then reverse it backwards, always extra fun. Right? If it's super easy for you, fun ways to challenge is like close one eye. Immediately we'll up the fun factor and go back. Good. And then I'm just gonna do a little shake and come out. Let's get a little bit of our plank. Use our chair. Right, you can always have your hands on top or the sides. The sides are my favorite as far as like getting good grip and feeling good at my wrist. Walk yourself out a little bit and just shift your hips back. Take a little stretch from it. Hopefully that feels good on your back. And then let's bring ourselves forward and just find our plank. Right? So you decide how far out you're gonna walk those feet. If you can bring yourself down into that straight line with your body, awesome. And of course, if you're staying a little higher, that's good too. It's all good strength work. And then you're gonna push yourself back into the stretch. So just find a place where you can kind of come in and out of it. Notice your shoulder blades anchored as you shift forward. And then I like to think I'm starting with my heel reaching back, so it really stretches my calves. Let's do two more. We'll shift forward onto those arms, wherever you get to, and then shift back. One more. This is your bonus one. If you want to hold it, just hold it. If you want to try some little bend and straightens, try some little bend and straightens. Come on. They don't have to be very big. In fact, I like them smaller. So we're not compromising our form at all. And then push back, shift your hips back, just hang for a moment. Maybe pedal those feet a little bit, lift one heel, reach to your sitting bone, get a little stretch in your waist. And then as you're ready, just walk yourself back in and roll yourself up nice and tall. Ta-da. And then we are all done with balance fun. Thank you guys for joining me this week.